welcome all of you, the whole world, to come and celebrate, enjoy not only the Enlightenment ecosystem, the beauty of how it is getting revived. Be an insider for this great revival process. If you are an insider even for a startup company, you will understand not only the result of the company, even that being an insider is such a joy. Being an insider when it was happening is something extraordinary. So, I welcome all of you to come and be part of an insider of this revival of Kailasa, the Enlightenment ecosystem, sovereign order of Kailasa, Kailasa nation itself. I request and welcome, invite all of you to become e-Kailasian, get your free passport and make billions receive this free passport. What I mean by the word e-Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is e-Kailasa. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost.
Modern science says that all that exists, whether manifest or unmanifest, is a probability. Infinite probabilities create a quantum field of infinite potential. An observer collapses the probability wave into a particle. Your intention thus creates the reality. Called the observer effect, it is the very act of observation that precipitates any reality into existence. Hinduism is far advanced than this primitive understanding in the modern day. Hindus know this field of infinite potential as Paramashiva. Paramashiva permeates everything, manifest and unmanifest. He is intelligent, compassionate, and a myriad other auspicious qualities. Our scriptures provide detailed descriptions of how to invoke His presence on the earthly plane, the visualizations that manifest Him, the mantras, sounds that invoke Him, how He looks, His various dimensions, the actions that please Him and have His blessings rain on you, the times in the past when He has manifested for us and led us through a breakthrough. Hinduism knows the art of communing with Paramashiva to manifest any reality we want. And when our effort and all the knowledge isn't enough, he himself incarnates in human body to show us how, to liberate us, to show us where we are stuck, to take us to oneness. Pratyaksha Pada Puja to His Divine Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda, Paramashiva incarnate. Sit at His sacred feet. Let Him awaken you to your field of infinite possibilities, to your oneness with Him. Register now. Pratyaksha Pada Puja.
Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. I'll start from the basics and give you the
Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dandvatitam Gagana Sadisham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam. We welcome all our participants, all our viewers joining us from all over the world. We welcome all Kailasa Vasis joining from various Kailasa monasteries, centers, ashrams, and centers around the world. We welcome all our viewers joining us from YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, Kailasa's Nithyananda TV, Kailasa's Hinduism TV, and all our viewers who are joining us from Nana Diksha two-way video conferencing for today's program. We welcome all of you. Today, in this introduction to the lifestyle of Kailasa, to the introduction to Kailasa, we'll be looking at a very special topic: divine rights, the right to be considered and treated as God. Now let us watch a short video of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism about divine rights. The right to be recognized, treated and considered and cognized like Paramashiva.
Please understand. When I declare Shivoham, I am Mahadeva. When I declare you are Mahadeva, you are Shiva, it is not false, it is not myth, it is subjective truth. Whoever wants to live it, for them it is truth. Understand? When I declare you are Mahadeva, when I declare I am Mahadeva, it is not myth. It is called subjective truth. When I declare you are God, when I declare I am God, it is not false. It is not myth. It is subjective truth. Whoever catches it, want to live it, for them it is truth. Understand, this whole world is suffering with the arrogance of trying to harass, abuse somebody else's subjective truth and trying to prove that as a false. Listen. Trying to prove somebody else's subjective truth as false is violence. Intellectual violence. It is terrorism. Intellectual terrorism. Please understand. Trying to prove aggressively somebody else's subjective truth as false myth is arrogance. If you believe you are God, you have all the right to believe, you have all the right to live like one. It is subjective truth. No one has a right to interfere into it. No one has a right to interfere into it. Subjective truth. Hindus have suffered too much of intellectual terrorism. I don't know whether I am capable of stopping the physical violence and terrorism against the Sanatana Hindu Dharma. I think I am not cut for that. But I'll surely stop the intellectual terrorism against Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Mahadeva has endowed me with all the qualities required. Mahadeva has given me all the qualities required. The Saraswati, ability to choose the right words is Saraswati. Ability to handle the vast memory is Lakshmi. Courage to tell what you want to tell is Durga, Kali. Mahadeva blessed me with all the three. Surely I'll protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma from intellectual terrorism. Please understand.
Material abundance was the lifestyle of all Hindus, and fundamental needs such as food, education, and healthcare were offered to all citizens free of charge as a basic right. This is the reality of every individual in Hindu nations that once spanned more than 6 million kilometers square of South Asian subcontinent. In countries of the present day such as India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, parts of Iran and Iraq, all the way up until the tip of Australia, Hindu nations spanned a huge landmass and did not give just fundamental human rights to each and every one of its citizens, but Hindu nations also gave divine rights to every being without discriminations. Whether it be humans, animals, planets, animate or inanimate objects, everyone was cognized, considered, and treated as Paramashiva. Our Shastras, our Hindu scriptures, such as Kularnava Tantra in the 8th Ulsa and 86th, 74th verse and 101st verse remind us of this very principle. Ki vata purusha chandalo va dujo samaha chakresminneva bhedosti sarve shivasama smrita. Jati bhedo na chakresmin sarve shivasama samasmritaha vedepi sitamevam hi sarva hi brahma chavratit. These two verses together will be sharing the translation. Whether a woman or a man, an inurban person, a chandala, or a person who is reborn, dvija, reborn through education and initiation, there is absolutely no discriminatory comparison. Everyone here is considered divine like Paramashiva, the primordial Hindu divinity. The key words here is Sarve Shiva Smrita, Sarve Shiva Samasmritaha. Everyone here is considered divine like Paramashiva. We can see this is repeating in the 74th verse and 101st verse. Sarve Shiva Samasmritaha. We know of this famous anecdote, this incident from the life of Sri Adi Shankaracharya, Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya, who revived and organized and united entire Hinduism around 500 BCE and reorganized the Akhada Parishad, the world's biggest council of monks, and revived and created several Enlightenment ecosystems throughout the South Asian subcontinent, and made 4 big monasteries in 4 corners of the Indian subcontinent. In this picture, which is portraying a very famous incident from the life of Adi Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya once was going for his daily worship after bathing in river Ganga. On his way, he suddenly saw an inurban person, a chandala, with his 4 dogs standing on his way. As Adi Shankaracharya had just taken bath and was going for puja, he did not want to be touched by an inurban chandala who might have possibly not taken bath and eaten non-veg. So as the customs was in those days, he asked the inurban person, the chandala, to move aside. The chandala turns around and asks, "Who exactly are you asking to move far from you?" The chandala continues, "My body or my Atman, my body or my consciousness, my body or my soul. How will you become impure by touching me? How do you differentiate between an educated, twice-born Brahmin or an inurban chandala? Because both our bodies are made of the same elements, earth, water, fire, air, and space, even though we look different. Our Atman, Brahman, our consciousness, is the same and is absolute. This one Atman, consciousness, is expressed in all living beings. So tell me, when we are made of the same elements and the same Atman, the same consciousness, how can you ask me to move away and not touch you?" That is when Sri Adi Shankaracharya realized the chandala, the inurban person, was teaching him his own philosophy of Advaita Vedanta, and prostrated before the chandala. This incident is a very significant incident in the history of Hinduism. How whenever the society forgot the teachings of the Hindu scriptures, which very clearly, for example, in Kularnava Tantra reveal, Sarve Shiva Samasmritaha, everyone here is considered divine like Paramashiva. When Adi Shankaracharya, through this Leela, wanted to teach the whole world and remind them of this important principle, performed this in his life and recorded it in his famous biography, Shankara Digvijaya, as a statement to the Hindu society to the world that everyone is divine like Paramashiva. The principle, the divine rights to be considered and treated as God is unique to Hinduism. And in Hindu countries, in Hindu nations, this is a right. Now, because of colonization and various other attacks in Hindu nations, there has been a wrong notion that certain sections of the society were not allowed to become Brahmins or Dvijas, reborns through education and initiation. But the same colonial era statistics from 1831, 1832, from House of Commons Papers, Volume 9, for example, or House of Commons Paper, Volume 7, reveal exactly the opposite. They reveal that in the pre-colonial indigenous education system, Gurukuls, it catered to all sections of the society, with as many as 70% of the students coming from so-called impoverished communities that are now recognized as other backward caste, and scheduled tribes. These statistics are directly from the House of Common Papers from the British archival records of 1831, 1832, 1812, 1813. From August 1823 and July 1822. So these statistics very systematically describe and reveal the truth that Hindu educational system, which created Dvijas, reborns, the people who were reborn through education and initiation, were from all sections of society without discrimination, and 70% of students coming from so-called impoverished communities, which have become backward communities today because of relentless persecution during the colonial era and during the invasions. But the truth remains the same. Everyone here is considered Paramashiva. In a Hindu nation, in a Hindu ecosystem, Hindu Enlightenment ecosystem, everyone is considered Paramashiva. Taking a reference of Taittiriya Upanishad, Shikshavali, verse 11.2, which says, Matrudeva Bhava, Mitradeva Bhava, Pitrudeva Bhava, Putradeva Bhava, Acharya Deva Bhava, Atiti Deva Bhava. Be one for whom the mother is God, be one for whom the friend is God, be one for whom the father is God, be one for whom the child is God, be one for whom teacher is God, and be one for whom the guest is God. Clearly revealing that everyone is considered Paramashiva. And the very most famous Mahavakyas, great revelations from Veda Agamas, such as Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, I am divine, or I am Atma Brahmaha, this self is Brahman, or Tattamasi, you are that, you are the ultimate. These verses and the practical life experiences of our enlightened masters and gurus give a clear testimony that in Hindu nations, you have the right to be considered and treated as God. Our beloved Guru, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, has very famously been quoted, I am not here to prove I am God, I am here to prove you are God. However, just for standing up for our core Hindu principles, just for making us realize our Paramashivatva, to help us understand that we are Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had to go through massive persecution, attacks on his life, extreme volumes of hate speech, just to prove that we are God. Kailasa today is the only Hindu nation, in fact, the only nation protecting, providing its citizens these divine rights. Kailasa as a nation is protecting not just the human rights, political rights, religious freedom. It is giving divine rights to humanity. And it is something which is far ahead. It is rooted in ancient Hinduism. in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, the truths of Hinduism. But for today's world, it is far ahead in terms of the rights a person, a being can enjoy today. Until World War II, when universal human rights were still not known to the human race, when such a international declaration did not happen, slavery was there prevalent around the world. People were denied basic human rights, ill-treated, cruelly treated, tortured, brutally killed, sexually harassed, raped, and all this was not recognized as an international crime just some 70-75 years ago. But then came the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that recognized some basic principles as undeniable rights which cannot be taken away from human beings, even if it is war. This led to a revolution. Once upon a time, people based on their color of their skin would be discriminated, would not be allowed a seat in the bus, and had to step down out of the bus to give a seat to someone of a different colored skin. It was unimaginable during that time that there will be rights for every human being to be recognized respectfully. Similarly, for every being, every human being, not just human being, animals, plants, nature, for everything to be recognized as Paramashiva is a very revolutionary, much ahead of its time, understanding, matured understanding for the civilization, human civilization on planet Earth today. But this is where Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is leading Kailasa and practicing Hindus and showing the way to all the human race in the world that everyone is Paramashiva. Everyone is divine. And to protect this divine rights, Kailasa is the only nation standing up today. For this, and only for this, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had to go through extreme amount of physical attacks, assassination attempts, character assassination, hate speech, hate propaganda. For example, we see in this picture from a video clip taken of an event from 14th November 2005, when the pre-monastic father of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism left his body and attained liberation, Jivan Mukti. On this occasion, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism visited his pre-monastic family and consoled his mother, as we can see in the picture. This footage was stolen and used by media, the Hindu music, anti-Hindu, terrorist media, to atrociously falsely present as if the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism raped women, presenting his own biological mother as a victim of rape. From a personal, private family function, the media stole a footage and misrepresented as if, you heard me right, at such atrocious, false hate speech to malalign, to defame, to abuse, to attack the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, just because he's standing for this one truth, declaring that I am not here to declare I am Paramashiva, I am here to tell you are Paramashiva. And multiple attacks of multiple lies, self-contradicting lies. On the same day, 2nd February 2011, for example, in one media is publishing, yes, it was me, and another publishing that wasn't me, confusing the society with lies and injecting hate continuously against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Continuous attack on Hindu tradition, such as applying kumkum on the third eye, just to attack Hinduism and Hindu tradition, which is leading us to enlightenment. Following clips show a small glimpse of the massive hate speech attack done on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. several attacks to kill the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, more than 14,000 hours of hate speech and false news. Just to remind the humanity of its possibility of the ultimate truth that all of us here are Paramashiva. Now, we'll be having some very special guests with us, joining us, who will be sharing their experiences of manifesting Paramashivatva, the understanding, the cognition, the experience that I am Paramashiva in their life through the initiation and blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Now, we'll be having some very special guests joining us. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam, yes. So the right to be treated as Paramashiva, to live as Paramashiva. So not just human rights, but divine rights. What is the actual truth of the existence? And what is the state of our existence as individuals? How does this entire process evolve and happen? And so as we heard in the beautiful introduction from Sarveshwara Maharaj, is the so many different aspects of where the planet Earth is limiting themselves unnecessarily as to who is an individual and how we manifest ourselves and our ability, and completely missing the larger context of ourselves as an expression of life, an expression of the cause of the cosmos and of the consciousness. So there's no nation on planet Earth that protects your divine rights. There's no nation that stands up and gives that perspective that we stand up for all of the humanity. It's only being a limited national perspective. Kailasa, the only possibility that stands for the rights of all humanity to express your maximum possibility. So how this spiritual growth happens, the Bhagavad Gita reveals Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashehiya sandriyani tasya prajna pratishtita. Whether you believe it or not, whether you want to understand it or not, you are a person, an individual soul reflecting the pure consciousness. Then how does this, how does the next progress happen in our spiritual growth? Your conscious decision to empower the oneness experience is enough for the oneness to blossom in you, the oneness to take over you. So it's just declaring your willingness, the conscious willingness. This is the next step in our process of how the spiritual growth happens. The next we see the spiritual practice and the impact on the DNA. When the studies are done into the epigenetics, meaning the study of how your behaviors can regulate your genetic activity, that research is showing that where you rest your consciousness, the things you attend to and the things you respond to and don't has an impact on your genetics, on your DNA. So this is what we see through the modern sciences. Now, is it possible for me? Next, is it possible for me to live a superhuman life in the human body? And does third eye awakening really exist? Can such awakened states be transmitted from master to disciple? The answer is yes, and we're living that as an experience through the initiations from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the Paramashivoham and the Paramashivoham processes with Swamiji. And the next image here, we can see some of the research from the participants of previous programs through initiations with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, showing a 1300 increase in the mitochondrial cell energy, which is not seen anywhere in science. An intense amount of exercise, yoga, or fitness training might affect a maximum of 40% increase, as per researchers, in the muscles to that extent, not even in the cell change, which is what is demonstrated here in the research, showing what is happening from a biological measurable level through the superconscious mutation initiations from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism into living as a divine being. As Srinivasa Sarveshwarananda Maharaj was sharing in the introduction about the possibility for us to live as divine beings. So I'd like to welcome a guest today to share about his experiences of these initiations and what is it like to live as Paramashiva, to experience a life as Paramashiva, the infinite, unlimited possibilities just by the initiation from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The miracles that happen beyond our understanding and preparation. And so we're going to hear some more about that right now. So I'd like to welcome Louis. Aya, welcome. If you please would just briefly introduce so much, welcome.
Thank you so much. Nithyanandam. My name is Louis Smith. I go by Lotus. I was born and raised in Wales for 22 years of my life, and then I went overseas to the States, and I was residing in Las Vegas for 7 years.
Yes, thank you so much, Aya. And so you have been blessed by the initiations from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism with this possibility of living, experiencing, being treated as, experiencing your life as Paramashiva. As we see the Sri Kailasa, the only and first nation for Hindus, the only nation standing up for this right, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism giving this as a gift, as we're going to hear in your experiences. I guess to start, Aya, you had a beautiful experience in the Venkateshwara Darshan. Maybe you would just start by just sharing briefly that experience.
Yes, this was my first day of Paramashivoham 3, and my first live darshan in Paramashivoham 3, and we were doing sad songs and heavily immersed in the program all day. And then it was around 1 a.m. In the evening here in the UK. 1 a.m. in the night, and as soon as the curtains drew back and Swamiji came on to as soon as I seen him, the energy, the experience of the darshan was just it was very unique, and every darshan is unique, and my whole being just come alive. I was kind of really settling down, really exhausted. I'd been on fire all day. I was really excited to be in the program, and what a program it was, talking about wealth and abundance and helping with deep rooted incompletions. And yeah, I had multiple breakthroughs that day, and I'd already watched a lot of the sad songs and wealth incompletion videos, or Swamiji talking on wealth and true abundance and what that looks like. And but still, there was just so much packed in the program. By the time we got to the darshan, I was pretty exhausted, and then soon as the Vaikuntha portal was opened up, it was I just couldn't stop dancing. I was just constantly moving. There was just in Wales, the energy has just been so different here, and I feel extremely grounded. And but when I do a darshan with Swamiji, it just I just come alive. Yeah, just come alive.
Mhm. Great. So we're seeing that level in the mitochondrial energy starting down here, then darshan comes and it happens up here. And so whatever, so this is literally the experience of how this happens to that I experience myself as Paramashiva. I have a divine right to experience myself as a divine being, but how can that possibly happen? And like you said, it was crossing 1 a.m. in the night for you. So how it happens is by having the one who knows how that process works and has manifested in themselves and can make it happen for you. This is how it's going to happen for everybody.
Right.
So this beautiful experience of that initiation process. Now, what we wanted to share about is another aspect of this living as a divine being and a right to live as a divine being. Because actually what has happened for you, just as you could almost say as a byproduct of the initiations from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, something truly miraculous that essentially all the humanity will think and know is completely impossible that could happen for them, let alone anyone else. Could you just share something about what is this miraculous experience that is being manifested in you over the past week, and basically just happens spontaneously as like a momentary, I guess, revelation of the power of this mitochondrial energy jump that happens through initiation?
Right. And I believe you're talking about the fast that I've been doing, but I believe it's been 8 days now. And the fast is only eating and putting anything in your mouth for 30 minutes of the day. Literally no time out of that 30 minutes having any food or drink or any aushadas or any medicine, nothing. So I've been doing it for 8 days, and initially jumped straight into it when it was introduced to me. I heard the words from Swamiji's mouth, and I thought I was going to lead into doing Niriha Samyama, which is a liquid food diet. And I kind of been really excited to get into that, but I feel I've been holding off. I've been eating pretty good and doing some regular fasting over the years, but really it's been nothing like what I've been doing with this fast, and it's really just broken all the patterns. It's breaking all the patterns, but also really bringing up the incompletions. And I feel I was just, to be honest, instead of surgically removing the incompletions, I really feel like it's just dropping a bomb down there and kind of burning all the dead snakes. And it's just it's been really powerful. It's really changed throughout the week. I would say the energy today, especially, I'm feeling drastic shifts today, especially. At first it wasn't easy, and I feel I was having to find deeper inspiration, and really my will persistence really being tested, not just on a mental level, on all levels, physical level, spiritual level, with how I deal with all my situations, how I'm even talking to my mother. I've been with my mother for the last 4 months, so that's that's been something, and that's drastically changed over the 4 months as we've done so much completion together. but yeah, while being in the fast and just having nothing inside you, it really brings up everything and noticing drastic changes, really just drastic changes, but also the mind. It's really quite interesting how the just operating from a different space, and that's been really unique. And it's really interesting to talk about this now, 8 days, because I feel a shift in the energy as opposed to yesterday. I was talking to someone and sharing my experience, and kind of having yeah, the brain kind of having brain fog. But my energy, you know, I would go through different phases with the fast. I would you know, be working out intensely, and I would really have to push myself, and I would, like, my runs in the morning, I would straight away get up out of bed, be on fire, and get the body moving, and I would just keep to the principle that I have and I've adopted is to run fast and run faster and run faster and not slow down in any way. And that's been really difficult. It's been difficult, and it's been new, but it's yeah, it's really been, it's been on another level as far as yeah, the inspiration and the fuel of pushing myself, and what that's doing for me, and really just aiming for Adi Kailasa, and 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 yeah, it's been amazing. It's really been amazing.
Right. So exactly. So just to recap, so what you've been doing is, for the last 8 days, you do not eat any food, you do not drink anything, you do not put anything in your mouth, except for 30 minutes a day. That 30-minute gap, only in that 30 minutes you put anything in your mouth to eat or drink. That's all.
Right.
Correct.
And yeah, it's and straight away jumping into it, being told about it in the morning, UK time here, and then really I hadn't eaten all day, and I'd had a little bit of tea that day, and I was even asking questions, you know, can I just keep having tea till I stop? But decided instantly from that moment, you know, hearing the words Swamiji shared, and really just always listening to Swamiji, and move past the, you know, any sort of denial point of whatever Swamiji saying, and any confusion. I've always seen Swamiji just saying absolutely everything. That's just helped me in my life, and always just seeing truth. You know, there's many other gurus out there, many other teachers, and I've learned so much from so many of them. They are a garland of flowers, as they say. And but Swamiji, when these words come out of his mouth, that this is the highest possibility, and this is possible for me, straight away, yeah, just jumped into it. And I decided in that moment that I was okay, only gonna have a 30-minute window, and then it gets really exciting coming up to the 30-minute window, because I would prepare everything, because, well, the first day I did it, it was really difficult to really kind of eat everything. I really tried to eat a lot, because I was thinking, okay, now it's going to be 23.5 hours before you eat again. And I'm already quite a lot. And I have this pattern of really kind of fasting all day, and then I'll eat a lot, and then I'll kind of keep eating a little late sometimes. But with this particular fast, that it stopped that completely. And yeah, I'm eating for 30 minutes in the day, and then kind of shutting off from food completely with that. And yeah, the preparing water, aushadha, I'm having a neem juice straight away, and then jumping into a beet juice. So really just getting the liquids down, and then going into like a liquid meal, which is normally like quinoa and lots of vegetables, and lots of different herbs, and then having lots of nutrients. So I'm highly nourishing, but still not, it's not really heavy. But I'm really just eating as much as possible. And that's changed throughout the week. I've been adapting every week and improving, because I also realized I don't really need that much food. I was eating quite a lot at the beginning, but now really just breathing a lot more throughout the day, doing lots of kumbhakas and pranayamas. Yeah, it's been it's been pretty incredible to see the body go through the transition. And I thought it was going to take some time, months to kind of go through this transition, but really it's just been fast tracked in a week. And to see how that happened over a couple of days, like I would say the first 4 days were quite difficult, quite intense. But coming up to the 30-minute window, preparing the meal, and then running and working out I'm working out really intensely before I eat, so the body just swallows it all up. And yeah, it's just a whole different thing. It really is. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And that's the thing. I see. You didn't prepare for this.
No.
You didn't sit and think and decide and plan what I'll eat. You heard Swamiji at once say you can live by eating only 30-minute gap during the day and dry fasting the rest of the time. Yes, and that word is what made it happen. The initiation from Swamiji made it happen in an instant. That is what you're saying, and these are the things you said, and that people know this is not possible. You cannot in one instant suddenly stop for 23 and a half hours a day for 8 days, not eating or drinking anything, and continuing your early morning routine, continuing, as you said, your intense workouts, continuing your family routines, continuing your work routine, and being able to manage that, keep yourself together. You said so you're getting this experience of, your divine right to be recognized and experience and live as Paramashiva. And that means manifesting these superpowers, manifesting that consciousness, as you shared. Yes, sometimes the brain is not available. I'm having to live from a completely different space. So instantly, just one moment, just one word you hear, because of that connection, the superconscious connection and the mutation process, initiations from Swamiji, just a single word, it happens in you with lots of energy and, as you mentioned, developing your will persistence, that which is really this process of how does a being come to manifest themselves as Paramashiva? It's through will persistence, deciding again and again and finding out what is the source of life. As you mentioned also, your inspiration is increasing greatly, needing to find a new way to exist. So just a single word, this whole thing is happening. But I actually just wanted to summarize some of those things. And also, Sri Nitya Sarveshwarananda Maharaj, if there's anything you'd like to share or comment on, please go ahead. And just wanted to summarize some of these aspects.
Yes. So, Louis, it was a very, I would say, very pleasant and very enriching experience how you are sharing. And it was really very amazing to see you how joyfully and blissfully you are doing your spiritual practice. Now, if this was suddenly denied to you, how do you feel? What would you be missing in life, and why it matters to you? If suddenly these spiritual experiences, let's say when you are fasting and able to be in a lifestyle where you can have 23 and a half hours of fasting every day, how it is affecting your health in an amazing way, how it is affecting your energy in an amazing way. As you said, you don't feel tired. Your sleeping hours have reduced. In a very simple terms, in some ways in which every person can understand, what would you be denied if you are denied your right to manifest these possibilities? What would the world be denying you? And why should they care about having it for themselves also? For example, if I am denied the right to manifest Paramashivatva for myself, I would be denied good health. Because as soon as I remind myself, or anybody for that matter reminds them of their Paramashivatva, they are able to heal several of their diseases, come out of low energy, have less sleeping hours, therefore working more, and also earning more, something which the common world understand, that you are more productive, earning more, you are more happy, more energetic, more contributing to the society. So when it starts with a fundamental divine right, and it leads to all human rights, whether it be right to life, whether it be right to any of the things, right to health, all these manifest very effortlessly when we have the divine right. Because when we cognize ourselves as Paramashiva, suddenly our possibilities shoot up. If I'm walking, I start running. If I'm running, the person might start flying. When we are
Right.
when we are denied these divine rights, it's like asking an aeroplane to serve like a taxi.
Right.
So, can you explain and share in simple terms what is the world missing in a very maybe simple terms, maybe even materialistic terms? What is the world missing by denying themselves the divine rights?
Mm. They're denying themselves their own uniqueness. Like you find your true self, and you really, yeah, it's like doing this fast. I've come to realize it's like this whole eating and really thinking about food. Like I always like to be healthy, but really you don't need to eat as much as what we've been led to believe. And listening to Swamiji in the satsang he shared, listening to Guru can change your life. That's what really just inspired me, and just hearing it come from Swamiji's mouth that this is my highest possibility, and this is everyone's highest possibility. We all have the possibility to manifest the powers, and we all are Paramashiva. And doing this fast was a way that made this all possible. Is making this all possible for me to truly live my uniqueness, and without trying to share too much. So you said as simple as possible, but yeah, with my mother and my nan and some other people mentioning this, they just look at you as if how is this even possible? And I'm just honestly operating and vibing at the highest level I've ever vibed at, and really grateful, yeah, really grateful. But if I was to say anything else everyone's missing, really just being their best self, just being the best version of themselves. Yeah. I don't know if that answers the question. I was trying to catch. I followed the whole question, but
Yes.
I
So
feel
I think all our viewers would also like to have their best. And we would like to invite all of you to experience your ultimate possibility, your Paramashivatva in Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham. Everyone is divine, and everyone has a higher possibility, his ultimate possibility. For a warrior, his ultimate possibility will be in the field of war. For a politician, it will be in the fields of politics. For a doctor, it will be in the field of in saving lives. In the field of a dancer, it will be in the performing arts. But everyone has a higher possibility. Paramashivam, the experience of you are divine, your divinity, your higher possibility, just does not gives you a breakthrough in your personal life, but also in your professional life. And it is for this reason, for example, the science of archery in Hinduism, Dhanurvidya, does not deal with just archery alone, but how to attain enlightenment through the practice of archery. Paramashivoham, manifesting your Paramashivatva, is the most practical way to get your professional excellence, all the material expansion in your life and the spiritual breakthrough both together. Both go in hand, and nothing is denied to you. Only your peak possibility that you are divine is given to you. And we would like to invite all our viewers to experience their ultimate possibility. Please sign up for Paramashivoham and give yourself your divine rights to yourself. The form link is projected in front of you, paramashivoham.org. Please fill the form and put your intention for you, how you would be manifesting your divine rights. For somebody, it might be in the health dimension. For somebody, it might be in the dimensions of powers, manifesting their ultimate possibilities through the body, like how Louis Aya is sharing how he is manifesting his higher possibilities through fasting. For somebody, it might be in the wealth dimension of how you will be manifesting wealth, whatever it may be, your ultimate possibility. Put your intention in the form link projected in front of you, paramashivoham.org, and put your intention of how you would want to manifest your divinity, and our causes will be co-creating your reality and making it possible to manifest your divinity. Mahaparamashivoham is starting from 9th December up until 29th December, is a breakthrough event to teach you the science of manifesting the ultimate consciousness in you, for you to discover your Paramashivatva and manifest your ultimate possibility. The link is projected in front of you. We'll be showing you the form very shortly. And before we continue, I would like to thank our guests today. Louis, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And if you would want to share any final words to people who are putting their intentions, who are taking the step to manifest the divine rights, what would you please like to share, Louis, to our participants and viewers?
Just listen to Guru. Listen to Guru. I feel we all go through so much confusion, and we're all going through a lot in different areas of our life. But Swamiji is here to help us all, liberate us all, to find our highest possibility, and to be our highest possibility and live that here on the planet. And I've also simultaneously experiencing the other logas. So yeah, just listen to Guru. Listen to Guru. He has your best interest, and he is you. And yeah, just truly grateful to have this experience and this opportunity, and all the blessings to everyone in reaching their highest possibility, because we are all divine.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Louis, for joining us. Now we'll be projecting the form for all our viewers. Paramashivoham.org. Please visit the website and click on register. Register now and submit your intention. Put your intention of how you would want to manifest your Paramashivatva, your ultimate possibility, and manifest your divinity in whichever dimension it may be: health, wealth, or prosperity of the inner world, manifesting extraordinary powers. Submit your intention and manifest your Paramashivatva. With this, we come to the end of today's program. Now we'll be moving on to the next segment, the presidential address of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the upcoming Alive Satsang. So please let us sit straight with our head, neck, and spine in a straight line, and hands together in front of our heart, and let us chant the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivam, and invoke our Guru, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanithanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam, in our hearts, in our Anand Gandha, and prepare ourselves for the upcoming Alive Satsang. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवसमारम्भाम् नित्यानन्देश्वरि पराशक्तिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respect. I welcome all the living, practicing Hindus from all over the world. I welcome all the Sarvanyapita Kartas, Yajamans, manifestors, Sarvavarityahis, Shrimahans, Mahans, Kotaris, Tanedars, visitors, viewers, Kayakalpa Yoga participants, Kailasas e-Gurukul students, Kailasas NHU students, Paramashiva Ganas, Paramashivoham Season 10 participants, all those sitting with us live on Kailasa TV, Kailasas, NTV, Kailasas, HNTV and other social media platforms. I welcome all of you with my love and respect.
On this auspicious second day of the Ganesha Chaturthi Brahmotsavam, today in the Adi Kailasa Nithyananda Peetham, Shri Mahaganapati Ananda Ganesha with 8 hands and 8 ayudhas is gracing in Sarva Alankara on the Bhuta Vahanam. We now offer our worship at the feet of Shri Mahaganapati, Shri Ananda Ganesha, and at the feet of His Divine Holiness Guru Mahasannidhanam, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, our most beloved Swamiji. Gajananam Bhutagana